Hi, this is Jessica Rose, and you are listening to Furious on Deeper Than Music.
Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
Good afternoon, good afternoon here in the United States. This is Furious, or regular name Mark, here on Deeper Than Music Radio on this Saturday here in the DFW area. I'd like to say what's up to everybody in internet land and podcast land. Today we got a special treat, but before we introduce our special guest today by way of Nottingham, England, I like to say when I first moved to the DFW area, I read about a spot called the Scat Jazz Lounge. When I read about it, they said that it was in a hallway. I'm sorry, not a hallway. It was in an alleyway, and then it had a little sign or a sign that lights up and points to an elevator. And you go down to the elevator, and then you go down in the basement, and it's a jazzy spot. I read about it, and I was like, I need to check this spot out. Eventually, that ended up being my getaway when I needed to escape to be creative, or I needed to clear my mind. And that's where I met also DFW great jazz singer Liz Michael, has also been in multiple movies and also as in plays as well, jazz vocalist Liz Michael. So today we have a very special treat. We have our second jazz vocalist or jazz singer here all the way by Notting Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Campbell Bass here on Deeper Than Music Radio. How you doing today, Campbell?
I'm great, Mark. Thanks. I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's here it's a relatively hot Saturday. We're in the triple digits, so we're above the 30s. We're about 36 degrees here. It's typical this time of year, hot and dry. But I imagine in England it's not as hot or not as dry there.
It's not as hot as that, but we're having a heat wave, which is hitting about 87, which is hot for us guys over here. So we're all sitting here sweating and just sitting down we don't have air conditioning. So
yeah, and that's what I hear. Actually, one of my colleagues is from England, and my sister, she's in the Air Force. She's up in Cambridge. And I hear that you guys don't have air conditioning, so when it's hot, but here, you wouldn't be able to survive without the air conditioning here in Texas.
I was over in Houston about 5-6 years ago because my wife lived there for 13 years, and I went and asked for a soft top at the car hire. They went, "Man, are you crazy? A soft top?" And it was like, we're English, we're crazy, but it was good. So I know what it's like out there, and I love the States. You've got a lovely country.
Oh, thank you. I actually went to my first time in the UK in a long time. I was there. I went in December. I was actually in Paris for a working group, and then after my 3-day working group, I took the Eurostar to London. And then from London, I took another train to Cambridge, and I got to say, I loved riding through the English countryside. It was very relaxing, and at the time, it was cold and wet, but I definitely enjoyed my time. The people there were very nice and very helpful. So I guess my first question for you is, how would you, for the listeners that are listening, how would you describe your sound? Who is Campbell Bass, and what is his sound?
Well, Campbell Bass, I would say it's more of a jazzy, soulful sound, and vocally it's quite unique. So, I mean, that's the way I'll describe it. It's got a bit of mixture of everything in it. And hence the recent ones I've just recorded, we just wanted to do something a bit different and take some covers and put a bit of Latin bossa groove into it. And, we've been gigging them. They've been going well. So, the sound is influenced as well by a lot of great soul singers back in the day and Sinatra, the crooners. So it's a good mixture. And so over the years I've been singing. It's only been about 25 in total, singing in bands as a hobby, then turning professional about 14 years ago. So because my background's more commercial, and it's yeah, my last job didn't work out, but hey ho, things do work out. It's been good ever since. So musically, yeah, I'm a swingy, jazzy soul guy, if you want to put it in that perspective.
Oh, okay. And at what age did you know that you wanted to be a singer? Was it at a very...
Well, it's a good question. Everybody asks me that, and I think when I was younger, I used to sing in the church choir and school plays, but never really took it that serious, I think. But I did love it. I loved the attention, and I loved giving something out, and getting the applause, I suppose, was good. So I left it for such a long time, and then it was probably after playing soccer. I stopped playing soccer about 28 years ago and decided I've got to do something. So I got into the Amdram, and I was singing on stage and things like that. So that's when it really kicked in, and people go, wow, you should take it further. And so, by sort of chance, it all kicked off for me probably about 14 years ago professionally. So, yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned you hinted to that you is soulful and it's eclectic. Like you said, now you're doing more like a Latin bossa nova type jazz. Who are your influence? Who influences you musically as far as your singing and your style?
Wow. Well, today, I love Gregory Porter. I think he's he's such a honest singer. And, there's so many to listen to these days. And, Gladys Knight, going back to the day, she's probably my all-time favorite.
Okay. Gladys Knight and the Pips. Yeah, okay, I'm familiar.
I saw her, I've seen her twice, and she's in her 70s now, but wow, can she still sing and hit notes? It's pretty good. And, I don't think there's been a singer like that since Ella Fitzgerald, who's another influence.
Oh, wow, yeah. Actually, It's funny you mentioned, have you ever seen that movie Cadillac Records?
Yeah, brilliant movie. And one of the other guys I've been to see is a guy called Kurt Elling, and he's a real jazz technical singer. And you listen to that guy, I mean, they're all my juniors, if you want, but been very successful, hard workers. And I get a lot of influence from them. And I don't try and emulate any of them. I just start listening to the sound and I think, yeah, that's pure, that's technical, and try and get somewhere that people are going to enjoy my sound. So that's it really. So that's the influences of it all. So
okay,
yeah.
So it sounds like your influences are very, like you said, very great singers, very influential, and they're very powerful. Like when I think of Ella Fitzgerald, that song "At Last," I mean, that's a classic song. I think Josh Stone might have redone it, but that song, the vocal abilities, and then Gladys Knight, I always think about. I heard "Midnight Train to Georgia" yesterday in the morning. Like I love that song. So,
well, that last Etta James was she really in that film movie. I think she was singing "At Last," and that was based on Etta James because she was like the one that had the hit with it.
Yeah,
and she's. I mean, again, what a great voice, but. One of the other influences, it's one of the songs I hope you'll play, is Sam Cooke. And, Sam Cooke was a big influence as well. I read a biography about him. And Dream Boogie. I don't know if any of your listeners have read it, but it's a great read. And he was such a clever guy, and how he sort of, from gospel to pop, if you want to call it that way, mainstream. And that was an influence. The story. And how he sort of developed, and he managed himself very well as well. Very clever guy, and so a lot of influences coming back from those days.
Oh yeah,
and the latter ones, like I say, Kurt Elling and Gregory Porter, and those guys are just amazing singers, but very different but very true to what they do. Yeah, and that's discipline as well. So I just love it. So. Yeah, I hope that's answered that question.
Yeah, no, it's very good. And you mentioned some greats. I remember, like, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and I remember he mentioned Sam Cooke was one of his, and Sam Cooke made some very good music. And like you said, I like that you said the discipline and the talent that they had. So your influences are some greats, like some greats that you mentioned, and their music will never, the music will never die. Like good music never dies, and the people that you list have been influential for a long time. And even like you said, Gladys Knight is still performing. I think she was here She was here like last year. They were at the we have like a casino in Oklahoma, Windstar, that she performed there. So very, very great people. So now I have one of your songs queued up. It's How Soon Master. Can you give us a breakdown on that song?
Yeah, this is quite a modern. It is a modern song. It's only about 2 years old actually, and it goes back a long time. The guy who sang it is a guy called Jake Bugg. He's from Nottingham. He's only a young guy. He's about 21, I think, probably 22. And I heard him before he was famous in the UK. He's on the indie pop scene. And this song, I was actually on holiday in the Greek islands, and
Okay.
His manager just did a Facebook post, and I got it, and I played it, and he sounds to me, this Jake Bugg, he's a lovely little guy, and he's a bit like a Buddy Holly. And I remember when I first heard him, I said, you've got to get this guy to the States. And it was very, very early in his career. Just picked him up, actually. And hey presto, he's been in LA recording. He's had a number one hits over in the UK. So yeah, he's doing, the boy's done good, as we would say. And so this is, when I heard it, and I played it to a guy I work with, Mark Gamble, who's a producer in the UK in Nottingham. And I said, what do you think to this? And I played it. He said, we've got to record this. We've got to record it, but we've got to make it our own. We've got to. I said, yeah, because it's a studio track. And I said, okay, let's put a bossa on it, because that's Latin's in, and let's try it. And it was quite a difficult for me to get to the vocal on it. It was, because I wanted to make it my own, and it's taken it away from the original. So if you listen to the original and you listen to ours, it's totally different. Although the melody, the chorus is probably not far off, but it's that's what influenced. And it's a happy song, and when I heard it, it just made me feel good. And
Okay.
I just couldn't stop playing it. I thought, I've got to record it, and I've been performing it live, and people are going, I love what you've done to that. So it's working. I just need to get it out there. That's the thing, Mark. You've just got to get it on iTunes and things like that and promote it, that's the hardest thing, isn't it? It's all about making it work.
Yeah, it is. And then a good thing about this platform is once we air the show, it'll be on iHeartRadio, it'll be on Spotify, it'll even be on YouTube, and it'll be on multiple platforms for people to listen, and then they'll listen to the interview, listen to the song, and then so you already have a buzz being built.
Well, the good thing about that is I'm actually just about to put this little album out, and those are some of those songs I've sent you are going to be on album. So it's going to be quite an eclectic mix of, you can hear the influences of some of the singers in there. So enjoy it.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and this is a Deeper Than Music exclusive here with Campbell Bass, How Soon Master, here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
Just look how far I fell down in the wishing well. You've forgotten I spent time in your head. I thought I knew it all, how the mighty fall to the bottom. You spent time in your bed. How soon the dawn of love has come and made you run. You've come undone. I've been feeling it too. Oh, I've been feeling it too. You took the subway down until the day you found it was broken. Now it can't take you away, just a silly thought, until the day you called me in action. You're knowing me less every day. How soon the dawn of love has come and made you run.
This is Alicia Elliott, and you are listening to Furious on Deeper Than Music Radio.
I like that song. It's real smooth.
Yeah,
and I love the energy. I love it. That's a good song. I felt like it. I wanted to hear more.
Yeah, it's only a short song, and that's the thing. We could have, there's a lot of songs you've got there. They're quite long, but hey, that's the feel. I wanted to get people to join in and hit the people and get them to feel it. Which, with you saying what you've just done, said that's worked for me. So, and that's the album is I'm doing. It's called "Can You Feel It Too?" Because there's so many different songs types on it. It's all the different parts of life that have, we all feel things in life. And, so, yeah, hopefully people get it. And, with you just saying that, I tell you, it's a big compliment. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, no, it's very smooth. I like the vibe. It's very energetic. Like, I could really see that song. A lot of people getting up and moving. It's just, and you want to hear more. So what is your resume as far as, singing, albums, show performances? Can you give us a rundown of you? And I know it's a vast history. Can you give us a rundown?
Yeah, I mean, there's started off. How can I describe it? Yeah, I've done a few stage shows locally, and then I've done a few. I did a shows over in the Opera House in Menorca with my 8-piece band that I don't have, that we all disbanded, but it's going back in the day. Did a big show in the Nottingham Albert Hall, which was, a full house there. And that was with a 27-piece big brass section. And I was managed back in that day. And unfortunately, that never sort of transpired to go anywhere else. But we did some good things. I can't take anything away. Yeah, a few songs on iTunes. If I'm dead honest, they're not my favourite, but people do like them. And then just basically doing local gigs. My own show, which have got some, YouTube clips on my website, and then singing at private functions and just earning a living out of it. So, it's never really been chasing the stardom. It's just been trying to make a living. Because, as I say, years ago, I was more in the corporate world, and hence just tapped into my talent, and that was it. So, yeah, that's the quick overview of it, and now just keep the line, just keeping it going really. And since I've done these new songs, it's sort of given me another use. It's given me another energy. So which is great. So I just want to keep going.
And that's good. There's one thing to be said about there's a few of my colleagues that actually do this for a living, and that right there is the ultimate you have achieved. For you to say that you're doing what you love and doing it for a living, that in itself is an accomplishment. I don't know how you feel about online streaming. Like I'm a musician myself. I'm a lover of aviation and also a lover of music. So I do both. Luckily, the music pays for itself. So I'm able to do things like the radio show, to produce and publish my own music. And I've been blessed to have some of my music on television shows and have it on indie films and stuff of that nature. It's hard to, especially now, I don't know how you feel about online streaming, but if you look at how much you get paid per streams versus how much you used to get per downloads, in my opinion, they don't compensate you well. But to be able to actually say that you do this for a living is a huge accomplishment, and that's very admirable. So, with your experience, what has been like your greatest moment, in your music career?
Oh dear, how long have we got? I've met some great people in the music industry, and I think, not all famous. And I've supported sort of major openings as well. So I suppose not singing, but just meeting some of my heroes, like Gregory Porter, like Kurt Elling. They're probably my moments I can remember. And just, I don't know, I don't know how to say it anymore, because there's so much, isn't there? It's just, you just go through life, and because I suppose you float through it and don't realise how many people you're bouncing off, and then you just go away going, oh, wow, yeah, I just met such and such. So, Yeah, and I suppose trying to think. Probably one of the nice achievements was doing my own show at the one of the oldest opera houses in Spain, in Menorca, the Teatro Principal, and worked with a couple of sort of dance singers there. They were from Europe. They were from I think they were from Denmark, and
wow.
And they had a hit. Me and My, they were called. I don't think they're still going, but they were representing a lot of their country in shows, etc. So they were good times, and tough times as well. But yeah, they're sort of things I can reflect on. And then just really, I suppose, you just make a lot of people happy, and that's it. You know, talking about the money in the game and things like that. It's the streaming. I know what you're saying, but you have to still go out there and gig. And
you have to, and you have to. I think from my perspective, the rewarding part is touching people's lives, and then actually the best part is gigging, because you actually get to interact with your fans, and it's all nothing beats the human touch. Nothing beats being personable with people and connecting on a human level. And I think you spoke on that. And to me, the greatest artists, like I love music all over the world, like Hendrix, I like The Doors, I like Stevie Wonder. These artists actually touched you, and it's all about relating on the human level. And so, and that's, in my opinion, that's what makes a great artist.
And I think you hit something really good there, because this, with the streaming and with the download market now, you know, it is a throwaway market in music, I suppose. But you know, like you've touched Stevie Wonder, you know, or The Doors, etc. You know, and then you know, so many artists that were. They were like, I wouldn't say gods, that's the wrong thing to say, but they were souls, and they touched you. They sort of came into you, and that's the thing, you know what I mean? And you know, like Stevie Wonder, Songs of the Key of Life, you know, probably
best album.
You know, some of the songs in that, you're going, oh wow, you know. And then you got Donny Hathaway, you know. Donny Hathaway, and that's to say, when people ask me who my inspiration are, there's just so many, you know. And but Donny Hathaway, you know, when he sings, what's the song he sang? Which I love it. I've been around so many empty places in my mind. It was a Russell song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Bublé's just covered it as well. So it'll come to me. But yeah, they're the guys that do touch your soul, and that's, you know, if you can give that out, and which is nice, and people. You know, it's like the other night I was singing outside in a little venue, a little Italian restaurant, and people were actually sat in the chair, and they all turned around and started to listen. And I thought, wow, I've actually turned, you know, I've got them to you know, actually turn and listen and enjoy. And I thought they're the magical moments. So you can meet anybody, but we're all human beings. But to have that ability to touch somebody in that way, that's it's a gift, I suppose.
Yeah, it's
priceless. Those guys you mentioned have the gift. You know, that's great.
And you mentioned something too. I'm curious because I see that you performed. Like, what countries and places have you performed? I see that I see different countries and.
Well, I did a couple of gigs. I played at it was at Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay.
And so I did a little Italian restaurant there. I don't know if it's still there, called Panivino's, and that was put together through a friend of mine who lives in Scottsdale. And it was just, I suppose, to give me some kudos to say, yeah, I've actually gone and sang in the States. Well, we did a set. It was great. And then a little, which I can't remember the name, but I was in Houston, and it was a Mexican restaurant, and I forgot the name of it, but yeah, we just got up and started jamming away with these guys, and it was quite funny because it was keyboard and drums, and that was quite a mix. You go, well, what's he going to do with this? Because there's nothing else, no guitar, nothing. It was keyboard and drums, but it worked. So yeah, so those are the things. And in Europe, the Teatro Principal, and I played a very famous club in London. So that was the to come to me in a minute. That was a big gig, that was, and Café de Paris. So that where Princess Margaret used to frequent back in the day in the 50s and 60s. So it's all got some history to it. So yeah,
So it seems like you got a lot of performing, a lot of gigging under your belt, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go into another song of yours, How Soon Master. You want to give us a little information on that song? Or?
Well, How Soon? I've just done that one. So what how soon did you say?
Yeah, How Soon Master? Yeah, How Soon? Yeah, How Soon? I'm sorry, it said Master. So I guess it's the Master. Sorry about that. Yeah, so How Soon? Yeah.
Have we not just done this one? You just listen to this one.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. I mean human.
Oh,
We got human.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Human. Yeah, that's again have you ever heard of Rag and Bone Man over in the States?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's got a good soulful voice. Again, saw him singing with Gregory Porter, an amazing duo gig. You know, when I watched them, this is his hit. And again, it was one of those I thought, what could we, I love it, but I want to make it into jazz. I want to make it jazzier, and I want to put some jazz and put our own touch on it again. Because if you're going to do a cover, let's do a cover. Let's make it our own. And so, again, working with Mark Gamble, we said, right, we laid it down. I said, that is working. And I put some backing vocals down on it. And hey, presto, this is what we've got. And I performed it last night, funny enough. And people just said, I love that version of that. I love that version of Human. And again, it's like, well, it's working. So if I can get that response to another 50,000 people, I'd be happy.
Oh, hey, yeah. I mean, how soon? Like, how soon ended too soon, and I wanted to hear more, but no, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Okay,
go on. Let's have a listen. It's cool.
Okay, so here we go. Human, Campbell Bass on Deeper Than Music Radio.
I'm only human. I'm only human. Human. Oh, maybe I'm foolish, maybe I'm blind, thinking I can see through this and see what's behind. Got no way to prove it, so maybe I'm lying. But I'm only human. Clearer, or are you deceived in what you believe? 'Cause I'm only human after all. You're only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Some people got the real problems. Some people out of love. Above, but I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Oh, that's my opinion. Don't ask me to lie. Then beg for forgiveness for making you cry. For making you cry. I'm only
What up? This is Matt James, all the way from Canada. How's she going, eh? And you're listening to Furious on Deeper Than Music.
Human. I love you have a smooth voice, and you made that song your own. I wanted to ask a question. One English singer that I really liked. I remember back in the 80s when MTV first came out, his album Picture Book, and he had a very soulful voice. I wanted to get your thoughts on two artists, Simply Red.
Oh, Mick Hucknall, yeah.
And then one of my favorite, and people kind of look at me crazy. I love lyrics, and the first time I heard Sting, I think it was a Desert Rose album. But ever since then, I've been a fan of Sting, and I know Sting used to be an English teacher, and then he used to be in a lot of jazz bands. And he infuses different music. And matter of fact, I bought his autobiography, Broken Music, and even a book of lyrics. How do you feel about those two artists?
Well, I think you've, from a British point of view, they are the pinnacle. And Mick Hucknall, Simply Red, back in the 80s, 90s. Yeah, I mean, Money's Too Hard to Mention, those. Yeah, and then he did his covers. And I've seen him live, and he's a good performer. Very unique voice, and I just think, and he's still touring. I think he's still touring the tours. But back in the day, the 80s and the 90s were so influential because that's sort of the era I listened to more than anything. But I was never I loved Simply Red, but I was really never into the Police. Now I listen, like you say, to Sting. But Mick Hucknall, going back to him first. Excellent, great voice. A very honest guy as well. I like what he stands for as well. So, and going to Paul Sumner with Sting, amazing. I've just done a cover of Roxanne, and which is a great version, but it's George Michael's version. And I read how that song started, and it was actually. You saw a picture of it's about a prostitute, basically.
Yeah, it was in Amsterdam or something like that.
France. He was in Paris. That's right.
Paris. Okay.
Yeah, in Paris, and they were doing just before they went on. I think they were a bit bored in their room, and hence they saw this. I forgot the name of the play, but Roxanne. Gerard Depardieu played the part. He's got a big nose, this French guy, and I think who the American actress was in it as well. Anyway, it was based on that play, and but he's made, Cried the Fields of Barley and all those sort of songs, which I really enjoy listening to that sort of spiritual side of him as well. So yeah, Sting. Amazing. And again, the connection there for me was I saw Gregory Porter sing It's Probably Me, which Sting wrote. I think it was Eric Clapton for Lethal Weapon 3. And but Gregory Porter, you can get it on iTunes, on YouTube. Just click in Gregory Porter's Sting, and it's at one of the awards. And Gregory puts his heart and soul into that song. And I cover that now, and people really just turn around and listen to it. But he's got lyrically, unlike you, probably I like to listen and understand the lyrics and see what the song's about and do a bit of research on it, and then I think you can get into it more then as well. So both outstanding British icons in music, I would say.
Yeah, and then you also mentioned some more greats: George Michael, Eric Clapton.
Yeah. Well, George Michael back in the day, I mean, when he first hit it with Wham, him and Andrew Ridgeley, they were taking the mickey out of the pop world. That was the thing, and it was like, they got. I mean, everything in this business is about luck, I suppose, being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And I think the Police were in America, and I think they were going to do a gig, and I'm trying to think who it was. This is the way the story goes, but there was 5 people in the audience, and I think. The drummer, what's his name? He said, "Shall we bother? Shall we bother going out?" And said, "Yeah, let's go out. We're here." And it was one of the managers from one of the American rock bands was in there and went, "Okay." Took them up, and that was it. Off they went, and that was it. They played one of their first gigs. Yeah, I'll never forget it in Nottingham.
Oh, wow.
In Nottingham, in a leisure centre, and that probably, like a five-a-side indoor centre, and they did one of their first gigs in one of the schools, and I never actually went to it, but all my friends at school go, wow, brilliant, and so so claim to fame, Nottingham, they've had the police there first, So
that's pretty. Cool. That's pretty awesome, and some good history there. So we're gonna go into "I Love You Tomorrow."
Oh, crikey! Yeah, I loved it. This has been around a while. Go on, please. I'll answer the question. Sorry, I get excited.
Oh no problem. I was gonna say, can you give us a little background on the cover and?
Yeah, this is one I wrote. Actually, I wrote this myself with a guy called Tony Foster, who's he's a guitarist for a band called Spiritualized, and they're another indie band. And we wrote it, and this is about. When you write songs, you get into a place and you pull all these emotions out, and this goes back. It was a guy I used to play soccer with, and we both were seeing girls, they're friends, all four of us, and he actually broke up with her. And he broke up. And it wasn't very nice how he did it. And I've known this girl for many, many years, and I suppose this is about somebody wanting to support somebody. Loved them and would always be there, but unfortunately, it wasn't reciprocated. So, it goes back to a child memory, really, a teenage memory, and and I don't even know what the girl's doing now, but it just wasn't a very nice experience. So, I just when we were together, Tony and myself, we just did it with guitar originally. It was just a guitar as a lead, and then we just got the lyric out, and I said. And his brother came and he went, "That is amazing." And as I say, it's been around since about 2011, but I've never really done much with it. So now I've got this opportunity to start just letting the music go, letting it go out there. And I hope your listeners get to feel the emotion in it. And, and I'm sure we all can identify with something like that in life.
Okay, so this is a exclusive Campbell Bass original. I Will Love You Tomorrow here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
I will love you tomorrow. When he says farewell, I'll be there beside you. But I know I'll wish him well. Yes, I know I'll wish him well. Well, I know he never loved you the way I do. And I've been waiting in the shadow for so long, for so long. For so long. So come into my arms and let me hold you tight. Let me help you through the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Campbell Bass, I Will Love You Tomorrow. Such a great interview. We have about 3 minutes left, Campbell. If there's any shameless promotion you want to do, let us know. What's your future plans, when the album's coming out?
Yeah, well, we're looking at getting the album out on iTunes and all the download sites in the next couple of weeks. So we're just doing a bit of a it's the reason why we're on here, to get a bit of a promotion for it. And so keep your eye out. I'll keep posting, and follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Yeah, please, just let's get the following going. Let's get some of you guys from the States to come and like my site and everything. That'd be great. So yeah, and there's one song we didn't play tonight, which is a shame. But I know we haven't got time. But it was "She Kissed Me." And that was a big influenced me by Sam Cooke. So perhaps another time we can play that one, and you'll see that little jazzy, chinky groove to it.
And I definitely want to have you back on the show once you have the album done, and then actually I'm planning on coming out there. I'm bringing a camera crew, and we're gonna do Deeper Than Music on location. Me and Mel are coordinating. I would love to come out there and see you, Jessica Rose, and then there's other talent that we interviewed. So I'll definitely coordinate that with you as well. We'll be there this fall to do it on location.
Well, I'm about to move to Spain, but I'm still coming back over to England because I've got lots of work to do. So yeah, we'll get together. It'll be great. Love to meet you in person.
Okay. Yeah. And then once the album's done, we'll get you back on, and we'll definitely play that Sam Cooke song. And I'm gonna play your music if you don't mind. I have a segment called Music Mondays, and I play music from all the guests, and I'll definitely spin that tune if you don't mind.
Hey man, you do what you can. That'd be great. The "She Kissed Me" is actually influenced by. Again, it's a song I've written myself, so that'll be an exclusive for you because nobody's played that on there anyway. So that would be cool. So you'll hear the Sam Cooke sort of inspiration in there. So so play it to your heart's content. That'd be great, Mark. That'd be great.
Okay, and Campbell, thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking time to share your lovely music and talent. And again, we'll have a part 2, and then once we go out to Europe, we'll definitely have an on location. So thank you for coming out, and you've heard it first. Campbell Bass here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Thanks for having me, and great guys over there. Enjoy the music, and just thanks for listening.
Thank you. Everybody in podcast land, have a good Saturday, and you heard it first, Deeper Than Music Radio.
Yeah. Take care. Thank you.